Midnight Hound Audio presents Prometheus by Darren Almgren. Read by the author. It's the pain that wakes him up. It's night, not much longer till dawn, and he cannot sleep through the white, hot, swelling pain in his belly. The moon, waxing or waning, he can't remember, shines enough for him to see. Where he expects to see flaming swords piercing his stomach, he sees nothing, but the pain intensifies. Bile sloshes against his uvula. He cries, begging the gods for it to end. He tries to double up to somehow comfort himself, but he can't. The chains around his wrists and ankles burn hotter than Tartarus when he moves, struggles, and strains. They keep him tied to this mountain, this Gaia-forgotten mountain. He prays the mountain will burst with fire and a river of molten rock will sweep him away. He prays, but it never comes. Dawn comes. What most see as a renewal, a restart, as hope. He just sees the beacon of the rest of his torment. The sun blazes like the fire he stole. His name means forethought. But when he stole that flame, he had no thought to what retribution might befall him. He thought he was doing good, being gracious to those who couldn't help themselves. The gods saw him as a usurper, a traitor. So they made their judgment and sentenced him to this. You shall suffer for as long as they benefit from your kindness, Zeus said as they chained him. For 1,000,000 years. Two shapes rise from the horizon. As dark as clouds at dawn, their wingspans double that of his own. They're almost beautiful, majestic kings of the skies. He can almost count the feathers in the fans of their tails. But as they approach, he sees their true forms. Their shriveled heads and necks, shoulders filled with a collar of bushy white plumage, and their bodies an inky black. Talons dig into the limbs they land on, one to his leg and the other on his outstretched arm. Warm blood oozes from his wounds. Their eyes are pure white, sunken, and they blindly sniff their prey. Beaks curved like Cronus's scythe glint in the morning light. They caw and screech with delight before digging into his belly. The pain he woke to is nothing more than a pinprick compared to their attack. Their beaks gouge into the lumpy scar tissue of his abdomen like dull spoons into mahogany. He feels everything. Agony, blinding, ceaseless agony as the tangled mess of nerves and flesh ignite his synapses. He struggles, flails, and the chains burn. Hours pass before they finally tear into his organs. As the blood pools around him, his flesh is rendered a pulpy mess inside him, and as his brain melts with pain, he cannot scream. He tries. With every rip, he tries to scream, but his mouth is sealed. Whatever magic or curse is on him makes the minor catharsis of a scream impossible. As he watches and feels the two vile condors eat through him, his chest, his lungs, his very soul swell with the wails of agony. What feels like iron screws and bolts fasten his teeth together, and the pressure of his screams threatens to burst through his eyes. They feed on his liver, fighting over each morsel they tear away. The great birds beat their wings at each other. Their fighting causes talons and beaks to slip, slicing into his other organs. Collateral damage to their gluttonous feast. Finally, he feels the last morsel of his liver get yanked away and watches it disappear down a wrinkled gullet. They prod their blood-soaked beaks inside him, ensuring their meal is gone. Then in a chorus of satisfied screeches, they take off. They leave the dying man chained to the mountain, and their calls seem to scream, "Tomorrow and forever. Tomorrow and forever. Forever." With the last light of the sinking sun, they disappear beyond the horizon. "I will not see tomorrow," Prometheus says. "Surely I will die. I will die. I will die." The Titan falls asleep as the stars twinkle above. He will not heal. He must die. It's the pain that wakes him up. We hope you've enjoyed this recording of Prometheus by Darren Almgren, presented by Midnight Hound Audio.